Chicago Bears fans, welcome back to the channel. It is AJ, your average fan here. Happy Friday, Saturday, my friends. Couple quick notes. The Cubs miss out on Willie Adames. I will be making a video about that ahead of the winter meetings. And the Blackhawks have fired Richardson and now have an interim coach as we speak, with the game being on right now. So I will be making a video on that as well. Also, make sure you leave your comments below if you enjoy the video. Let me know your thoughts, and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you like today's content. We have the jersey of the day as always. Today, pretty simple. We just got Cole Kmet, Sir Kmet himself. Now, we got the final injury report to go over, as well as the keys to the game. I have started to leave timestamps in the video description, so if you don't want to sit and watch the full video, feel free to go there, find the section that you want to hear, and you can fast forward and find it easier. All right, my friends. Injury report, not horrible. Keenan Allen was full practice Thursday and Friday, like I thought he would be. Ryan Bates and Elijah Hicks are listed as out, one with concussion, the other with an ankle. Same with Roshan Johnson with a concussion. He is also listed as out. Those were the three that I saw coming. I figured that with the severity of those two concussions for Bates and Roshan, I figured that they would probably be out at least this week. But we did have DJ Moore and DeAndre Swift on limited practice with those quads. They are officially listed as questionable for tomorrow's game, so I'm not 100% sure if they will actually make it to the game or not. We will see with the inactives tomorrow before kickoff. But it is a good sign that they went in the right direction, because having DJ Moore and DeAndre Swift will be very important. Everybody else, Kevin Byard, Coleman Shelton, Darnell Wright, Mercedes Lewis, all were full practice, so no real issues there. Jesus, God, losing my mind today. I apologize, my friends. Keenan Allen, full practice. Ryan Bates, Elijah Hicks, Roshan Johnson are all out. DJ Moore and DeAndre Swift are questionable. And then Kevin Byard, Coleman Shelton, Darnell Wright, and Mercedes Lewis were all full practice. For the 49'ers, they have quite a bit of people already listed as out, and a bunch of them are kind of really key players. Aaron Banks out, Nick Bosa out, Jordan Mason, Trent Williams, Dre Greenlaw out, as well as George Odom out. They have Demetrius Finnegan Fowles as questionable, as well as Talona Hufanga. They are listed as questionable, and then for them they have Demador Lenore, Jordan Elliott, Sam, not even going to try to pronounce that last name because I will butcher it, Dominic Punny, Brock Purdy, let's see here, Uter Gross Matos, and Charvarius Ward are all on full practice but don't have a designation for Sunday. So as far as players being out, Bears hold the advantage there. I am liking the way that the week has shaped up with Thomas Brown. He has had a lot of very good things to say about the team kind of gelling under the new direction that he wants to go. They are definitely, it seems like the, not culture shift, but the feeling in the air is a little bit better heading into San Francisco than it has been in previous weeks, with Thomas Brown at the helm. It seems like players are a little bit more happy. Everyone seems a little bit more unified. Thomas Brown is saying the right things to the media. We also heard Keenan Allen say that he'd like to run it back for the Bears next year, which, if the money is right and you're not really having to give up anything to keep him for another year, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But it just seems like that the players in the media this week were just a little bit more light on their feet. Didn't really have a whole lot of bad things to say. It just seemed like a better week all around. So, and that mindset going into a Sunday game, while there's a lot of change and it might not necessarily be for the better or for you might not see that on the field right away. It is good to have a clean frame of mind from the player's perspective going into a football game. So that is very good to see. What my keys to the game, I will again give a couple for the offense and a couple for the defense, like I have been doing for the last couple weeks. On the defensive side of the ball, just try to get back to everybody flying towards the ball, swarming the ball. Tighten up your one-on-one coverages. I think that the last couple weeks were a little bit better, but still not the greatest. I think that there was obvious plays where some players were kind of giving up mid-play, where normally they would go in for the hit or the tackle, and that would also kind of piggyback onto wrap up your tackles, because we saw in the Lions game a lot of guys that were going in for a hit, but they didn't necessarily take the opposing player down or hit him out of bounds, and whoever had the ball was able to get extra yardage out of it. So just make sure that you're wrapping up those tackles. Try not to just lay on the hit. But I would also like to see defensive penalties cleaned up a little bit. The defensive side of the ball wasn't too bad last week against against the Lions, but there was penalties all around with the Bears last week that I want to see cleaned up with Thomas Brown, so hopefully we could see that. And then also trying to stop that run game. Obviously, with Detroit, we knew that they were going to run the ball pretty much all day long because it is Detroit's run game, and it is really outstanding. But going into this game against the 49'ers, I feel like the Bears have a legitimate chance to limit the run because Brock Purdy, not necessarily the most mobile quarterback. He can run, but it's not necessarily his game style. And also they're missing Christian McCaffrey. So, with them having backups there, they should be able to contain the run at least a little bit better. I'm hoping that with Thomas Brown leaning on the defensive coordinator a bit more, we will see a better run defense than under Matt Eberflus. I think that Eberflus just played the run game all around a little too soft. At least from my vantage point, that might not actually be the case. Maybe that was just the way that the defense has always been designed and we won't see a change. Not 100% sure. But, I think that playing a little bit more man-to-man instead of that zone 2 soft coverage will also help as well. I would like to see that a little bit. So that would, I think that would mitigate, giving them the 5 to 7 yard chunk plays and preventing San Francisco from just marching down the field like we saw, Detroit, Minnesota, and Green Bay do. I would think that the defense would look a little bit different this weekend, perhaps not too much different, even though Matt Eberflus was making the calls. The scheme is still what the scheming is, so we will see what happens there. On the offensive side of the ball, I would just like to see Thomas Brown keep doing what he's doing, really, for the most part. Just stick to the simple things, make simple work early and often. Good balance between the run game and the passing game. Let Caleb Williams run if he sees an opening to take for yardage. And start sprinkling in some more deep balls in there. We saw a couple of them the last couple of weeks with DJ Moore. We saw a couple with Keenan Allen, Adunze, and even DeAndre Swift against that game against Minnesota. So, just start opening up that pass game a little bit more past that medium range. I think that starting to let Caleb get some confidence in those deeper balls, give him a couple more chances, kind of round out his tool bag, if you will, before the season's end. I think that would help Caleb going into next year for sure. But without Roshan Johnson, I don't really know exactly how you attack the run game. I'm not 100% sure on who's going to be back there with DeAndre Swift if he is in the game. So you got to try to find something that'll work quick there, given that you might be dealing with backups all day. If Swift is not in the game, again, we already know that Roshan Johnson won't be there, but try to get that run game established early. That's been a consistent point for the Bears offense all season, is trying, even though we haven't seen it very successful, try to get the run game going early just so that you can open up that pass game a little bit later on. And again, I would like to see some more usage for Cole Kmet. I think that Thomas Brown did a good job getting them a little bit more targets throughout the last 3 weeks, but I would like to see a little bit more, especially on third down plays. I know that Keenan Allen is kind of your go-to guy there, but Cole Kmet really specialized in those third down plays last season. So I'd kind of like to see, Cole Kmet in that mix with Keenan Allen a little bit more. And also using Cole Kmet down in the red zone. That was also a specialty of Cole Kmet last year. He was really, really good in the red zone. I know that you have a lot of weapons that you can use in the red zone, but you might be without DeAndre Swift and you might be without Roshan Johnson. And we saw Keenan Allen and DJ Moore get a red zone touchdown last week. I would like to see Cole Kmet get used a little bit more in the red zone there. But that kind of wraps that and goes into my last key, which would be can more or less a question than an expectation, but can Thomas Brown help elevate the defense and special teams without the offense suffering? Which most of that just kind of boils down to penalties, but can you get special teams a little bit more active, and can you help try to build the run stuffing ability on the defensive line given what it is? Can you get the defense and special teams to play better without the offense suffering now that you have a broader range of responsibilities? Tomorrow's game will be very interesting. I think that the Bears can squeak one out just because San Francisco is very injury heavy right now. And the way that the Bears have lost the last 3 weeks, they're kind of due for a win. So I believe that the Bears could win by 7 points. I believe it might be a 28-21 kind of game. I'm kind of leaning in that direction. It might be a 10-point game, like 31-21, but I think that the Bears win by a possession or more. I don't think it... Well, I mean, I know that a field goal is also a possession, but I think that the Bears win by a touchdown possession or more. I don't think that this will be another down-to-the-wire field goal type of situation. I think that Thomas Brown will manage the clock a little bit better towards the end of the game. I think that he will make a little bit more of a smarter decision process towards the end of the first half and end of the game. So I guess that could be another key too on Thomas Brown. Just better time management when it comes to halftime and going into or towards the end of the game. Just making some smarter decisions. If Caleb is marching downfield, let him keep marching. Get as close to the goal line as you can before having to take a timeout or run the clock out, whichever one that is. Don't prevent the offense from going downfield, because in the last 3 weeks, that's kind of really what we saw was Caleb Williams was leading them downfield, and then Matt Eberflus just basically put a stop to that and tried relying on 2 field goals and a last-minute play that didn't start quick enough for them to be able to use that last timeout. So just be smarter in that process and that type of decision-making. And then we'll see if Thomas Brown holds true to his principles, which is the coachability, reliability, and dependability. I would like to see how much of that really is reflective in the first week, I think that you will see a difference. Maybe not a big difference, but a difference nonetheless. So uh, can you back that up, put it into practice, or put it to usage to where we could physically see it? Again, it doesn't have to be a big difference week one, but I would like to see that difference nonetheless. And I think that that would start with cleaning up some of the penalty issues. But Bears fans, you let me know what your keys to the game are. What do you think the final score will be? Do you think that the Bears get a win with how injury stricken that San Francisco is, and the way that the Bears have finished out the last 3 games? Make sure you leave that in the comments section. Drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you like the content. We'll be bringing you some Cubs and Blackhawks things here in the next couple of days. Bear down, Bears fans, and I'll catch you after the game tomorrow.